Ladies and gentlemen, I am David Finlay. And while I'm usually busy wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling, due to the current global circumstances, I have been unable to do so. Which means I have not been in a wrestling ring in quite some time. Now, I'm not one to sit back and let life pass me by. No, I've been training, I've been preparing, I've stayed ready this entire time. And recently, a particular prize has caught my eye, and that prize is the ROH Pure Championship. Now, this championship was created for somebody just like me. I am an elite level wrestler. Hell, I've got 4 generations of wrestling blood pumping through my veins. I was bred to fight people. Now, I'm not quite sure who the current champion is, or if there even is one, but that doesn't really matter to me. All that matters is that I am coming for the ROH Pure Championship, and I am coming very, very soon.
I'm Quinn McKay, and I'm here to update you on everything going on for the week in Ring of Honor. It is Monday, and as you know, every Monday we drop a new episode of the ROH Strong podcast, hosted by Kevin Eck. The brand new episode that dropped this morning features special guest Matt Sydal. Sydal discusses his previous runs in ROH, including his debut against Delirious, who coincidentally was also making his debut, wrestling top stars such as Kenta, and being mentored by AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. He also touches on his time in the WWE, Dragon Gate, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Plus, he delivers breaking news about his return to ROH, so I guess someone out there was listening to me after all. And speaking of me, I also make a brief appearance on this week's episode, just, to clear the air about potentially popping off at Kevin Eck on Twitter when he offered me unsolicited advice about She Who Shall Not Be Named. Apparently I hurt his feelings. And in case you hadn't already had enough of this mug, I was also a guest on Happy Hour with the Bouncers this week. On the upcoming episode of ROH TV this weekend, we feature an ROH veteran who has seen it all, and that is Rhett Titus. Rhett highlights his ROH career, some of his favorite matches, and of course, his physique. Let's take a look at some of that now.
Oh, that match got my blood flowing so much, I had to stop and get a pump on real quick. But speaking of blood flow, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention what caused Rhett Titus and Kenny King to actually man up. And that was our long, lengthy feud with the Briscoe brothers. Now, we went through everything from First Blood to Street Fight, all the way up to the Ladder War. But unfortunately, some of these matches are a little too violent to be shown on television, but luckily for you, they're all available on the Honor Club. If it wasn't for those matches with the Briscoes, Kenny King and I probably would have never beat wrestling's greatest tag team for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles.
Check your local listings to see when that airs in your area this weekend. And remember that every episode of ROH TV is always available for free at ROHWrestling.com after it airs. The latest episode available for free goes day by day with former ROH TV champ Shane Taylor. Check out Shane facing off with Bandito, Eli Isom, and an incredible 4-corner survival match where Shane defended the TV title against Dragon Lee, Flip Gordon, and Tracy Williams. While you're at it, you can also get the Shane Taylor t-shirt available right now in the ROH Pro Shop. Also free for everyone to check out is the cool stuff on our YouTube channel. Recently updated was a match with 4 future legends from all the way back in 2003. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Chris Sabin, and Jay Briscoe all met at ROH, beating the odds in 2003. If that's still not enough of the classics for you, we promise you'll get your fill on Honor Club. All of Ring of Honor's history is available at any time 24/7 on Honor Club, and every Friday we upload 50 new matches from our history for Fresh 50 Friday. Just added our spectacular matches such as Nigel McGuinness versus Colt Cabana, Jack Evans versus Spanky, Black Tiger versus Alex Shelley, and James Gibson versus Austin Aries from 2005. Let's take a look at some of that now.
That's how he's able to defeat Homicide.
Aries now sent to the corner, up and over he goes. Somersaults to the opposite side, gets caught by Gibson and planted.
That was almost it, Davidson. He's been such a valuable contributor here to ROH. What's this?
Again, driving his back into the guardrail.
The heat-seeking missile from Austin Aries. Aries hangs on. Hold on. Tiger Bomb!
match was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was a minor, so I couldn't get a tattoo or a piercing without my parents' consent or rent a car or vote, but you definitely should. November 3rd. Anyway, our men's history is very special, and when you look back in time, there's always something cool that happened on that day in ROH. Right now, let's go back to August 10th, 2007, on this day in ROH history. Would say that the Briscoes versus Steen and Generico is one of the top feuds in ROH history. It would probably be on most people's top 5 lists. But this week, when we talk top 5 lists, we're talking ROH's annual event, Death Before Dishonor. It's that time once again that I pitch to Brian Zane for another top 5. Take it away, Brian.
Well, folks, the best of Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view is just a few weeks away, so to get myself in the mood, recently I asked my followers on social media to give me their match recommendations, and they did not disappoint. Time now for me to look at my top 5 favorite matches in Death Before Dishonor history. Number 5, Matt Taven vs. Rush, 2019. A personal favorite of mine, as it was the first ROH World Title match I'd seen in the flesh. These two men beat the hell out of each other, making the most of their environment, but ultimately Rush would keep his unbeaten streak alive and become the new world champ in emphatic fashion. Number 4, Cage of Death, 2006. It was the culmination of one of the wildest rivalries of the decade as the stars of Combat Zone Wrestling invaded Ring of Honor. The notorious Cage of Death came to Philadelphia and lived up to its name in an insane, blood-soaked team war. In the end, Homicide saved the day for Team ROH, only to attract the ire of Jim Cornette in the aftermath, but that's a whole other thing. At number 3, Tyler Black vs. Davey Richards, 2010. It was a chance of a lifetime for Davey Richards, going against the long-reigning Tyler Black for the World Championship. With constant action from bell to bell, it's considered a Match of the Year candidate and a star-making performance for both men, as Black would hold back Davey's challenge, at least for the time being. Number 2, Ladder War 3, 2011. By this time, the Briscoes were hoping to become 7-time tag team champions. For the All Night Express, they just had something to prove. The bitter rivals took it to an unreal level at the Manhattan Center in one of the most brutal ladder wars in ROH history to determine the number 1 contenders. Rhett Titus and Kenny King withstood a beating by Dem Boys and would win the match, setting in motion their one and only tag title reign beginning at Best in the World 2012. And the number 1 best match in Death Before Dishonor history is CM Punk vs. Austin Aries, 2005. Picture it, Morristown, New Jersey. CM Punk's on his way out of Ring of Honor and has one final chance to capture the elusive ROH World title. The Second City Saint and A-Double went to war in that match, each man in a must-win situation. It was a struggle, it was a fight, but Punk would not be denied, shocking the world by winning the championship and kicking off the infamous Summer of Punk. Well, I hope this top 5's got you ready for the best of Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view airing September 25th. And of course, you can post your favorite matches right here in the comment section below. From Wrestling with Regret headquarters, I'm Brian Zane. Back to you, Quinn.
Thank you, Brian. In these uncertain times, I can always count on you to count to 5. And if you ever use that as a campaign slogan, please credit me. Although this pesky global pandemic has pumped the brakes on in-ring action, we still have your best interests in mind, which is why we're stoked to present the very best of Death Before Dishonor, streaming live on pay-per-view and Honor Club September 25th at 9 p.m. Eastern. See some of the very best matches from the past, featuring the current stars of ROH commenting and watching along. Mark your calendars for that one. Also, mark your calendars for this Wednesday, because at 12 p.m. Eastern, 2 Guys, 1 Show are hosting the first edition of ROH Dad Jokes. Josh Woods and Silas Young do battle with the Briscoes to see which team laughs harder at the corniest and probably worst jokes that you've ever heard.
Oh, hey, what's up? Josh the Goods Woods here. Happy Friday. Welcome everyone to this little live event. What's going on?
A little live event called Two Guys, One Tag.
No, we're Two Guys, One Show, dude. We are the tag.
Well, 2 guys, 1 tag, 2 guys, 1 show. It's the same thing, you know. I have a couple drinks in me, and I forget things, you know. You gotta bear with me a little bit here.
That will be something to watch for sure, and something we are always watching out for is the young talent out there trying to make a name for themselves. That brings me to this week's One to Watch.
I am Wheeler Yuta, and I pride myself as a decoder in the wrestling ring because everyone has their own set of strengths. Everyone has their own set of skills. But mine is all up here because I know that everyone has that one pinning combination they can't get out of. Everyone has that one submission that they will tap to every time, and I will find it for every opponent that I face. And what better place to ply my craft than the Ring of Honor Pure Tournament? Because when you take away closed fist strikes, when you take away excessive rope breaks, all of the frills that we add to what we do in the ring, all you have left is your strategy, your ability, and your mind. And there's no one who can outthink and no one who can decode Wheeler Yuta.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about the Pure Championship and Pure Tournament lately. Jinkies, that has to mean something, right? Hopefully I'll have more information next week. Who knows? Moving on, it's once again time to learn about the favorite moves of a specific ROH wrestler, and then they explain to us why they do that move and what exactly that move does to their opponent. Like, there's a lot of moving parts, but it's a fairly simple concept. It's now time for Signature Moves, and this one features Dalton Castle.
My signature move is called the Bangarang. It's a move I've used to earn victories in 10 different countries. I even won the Ring of Honor World Championship using this move. What you do is you lower your level and then you shoot your head between your opponent's legs. And before they can figure out what's going on, you quickly pop up. And when you have them on your shoulders, you start spinning and spinning and spinning, causing centrifugal force, which makes all the blood rush to their head and their eyes start throbbing and they get all confused wondering, when is this ever going to end? And that's when I stop. I put away guys like Jay Lethal, Matt Taven, Jushin Thunder Liger, Evil, Mark Haskins, Hot Sauce. You name somebody I've been in the ring with, there's a pretty good chance I beat them with the Bangarang.
I really appreciate that Dalton just used that airtime as a way to list off everyone that he's beaten, and he has a point. It's a lot of people. Bangarang is also incredibly effective against pirates, so that's always a plus. Also, if you didn't see it, I strongly encourage you to go back and watch every single episode of Dalton's Castle, starring Dalton Castle, on our YouTube page. Seriously, after week by week, go and watch every single episode because the season finale ended with many questions unanswered, and we have to wait for those answers in this economy. However, we don't have to wait for the answer to what's your favorite video game, because that's the question of the week.
Hey, it's Carrie from Ring of Honor. Question of the week, what's your favorite video game? Well, mine was Ms. Pac-Man. I used to play it at the bars. But let's go back before that. So before Ms. Pac-Man, there was Pong. But before Pong, there was pinball. And boy, we used to like to play the silver ball. I remember this machine, Flying Circus, at one of my local arcades right by my house. It wasn't an arcade, it was a luncheonette. But we would run to play Flying Circus, and we're going to show you some other machines right now.
My favorite video game of all time would have to be
Tetris, Ms. Pac-Man, Tapper, Root Beer Tapper, Mr. Do, Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, The Legend of Zelda.
My favorite video game? It's gotta be Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the N64. It's an all-time classic. I still play it every once in a while.
Would have to be the original Contra.
My favorite game is Elder Scrolls Online.
He stands like a statue. He comes to part of the machine, feeling all the bumpers. He always plays it clean. That's right, it's the Wizard Machine of the Pinball Wizard fame of the Who.
Mi videojuego favorito es Nintendo Switch y me gusta mucho Mario Kart.
Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3.
Hi there. My favorite video game of all time is Mario Party for the Nintendo 64. Have a great day.
Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Odyssey.
Favorite video game? Animal Crossing.
Angry Birds. I'm great at Angry Birds. Probably top 10 in the world.
It's definitely a draw between Halo for Xbox and Spider-Man PS4.
I'm gonna have to choose the tag team combination that is Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3.
Well, I haven't played video games for a little while, but if I had to pick one, this one's an oldie and it's a goodie. Crash Bandicoot.
Borderlands.
WrestleFest.
And Borderlands 2.
Matmania.
And 3.
Fire Pro Wrestling.
And Borderlands the prequel.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Punch-Out.
My favorite video game of all time, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And if you want the cheat code to get straight to Mike Tyson, 007-373-5963. Good luck.
So I was never really like a huge gamer, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was always a sick game.
I'm not much of a gamer, but when I do play games, it's NBA 2K. Ballin'.
Oh! Lock swatted!
Hello, Ring of Honor friends, this is the most wanted bandido, and my favorite video game is Red Dead Redemption 2.
I think my all-time favorite is Red Dead Redemption 2 for PlayStation 4. I do stream on Twitch, so check me out. It's twitch.com/MandyLeon.
Easy. Transformers the game. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix.
And right here, and check it out, it's the same artist that did the work, is the Elton John Captain Fantastic machine, which is a really cool machine also.
Double Dribble, RBI Baseball, The Witcher 2, Fable 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Phantasy Star 2, Assassin's Creed 2.
My favorite video game is the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm a big fan of the Black Sails, the 1776 one. I'm really excited for Valhalla that's coming out during the holiday season.
Has to be the greatest game ever created, the World of Warcraft.
Let me show you the oldest pinball machine of all that I have, at least. So from what I've learned is back in the old days, pinball machines were for gambling. We're talking about the 30s and the 40s and even into the 50s. So they didn't have flippers, because wherever the ball went, you got points, and the points became a small change. Anyway, the first machine with flippers was this. It was the great Humpty Dumpty. And it was made in 1948, and it still plays. Well, we hope to learn a little bit about pinball. It's way better than video games.
Oh yeah, Pokemon.
Batman Arkham Asylum, Red Dead Redemption, Dark Souls, and Rock Band. Yeah, those are my favorites.
My favorite video game is The Sims because I like to be in control of everything at absolutely all times. And as you can see, I grew up to be a completely functioning and normal adult person with hardly any god complex at all. Before we go, remember to go check out all of the absolutely fire merchandise at the ROH Pro Shop. There's t-shirts, masks, DVDs, and everything at great prices, including my very nice but not very evil t-shirt, PCO's Lightning logo shirt, the DTF shirt that Josh Woods thought was very clever and stands for Down to Fight, BT dubs, and this fabulous t-shirt from one of my very favorites. Also, the Throwback Thursday match this week is Tyler Black versus Kenta from End of an Age in 2009. Oh, and the honor list this Friday. Wait, what? I'm in the middle of a sentence right now. Before we go. You know what, Josh? I know that you're doing this I literally know you're doing this on purpose, and I know that this could have lasted until the end. This could have waited 30 seconds. Okay, here, yeah, let me hear it. She who shall not be named.
All right, Quinn, you are really starting to annoy me, and I didn't even think it was possible for you to annoy me more than you already do. But I guarantee that I told you to keep my name out of your mouth. And what do? You go speak it. I mean, I don't know who you think you are, and I'm sure you're going to come up with the excuse, oh, the producers told me to say it. Well, since you're so good at making up excuses and you're so good at crying about things on your social media, why don't you get really good at learning how to apologize to me? Or I promise you, when we get out of quarantine, it is not going to be pretty.